Yeah, so I finally got fed up with how long it takes to spawn a new ZSH shell. Like, look at this. This is just painful. So I searched Google something about profiling your ZSH startup time, and the first result is from this guy named Steven, and there's a whole article here. Steven says, I'm a heavy tmux and ZSH user, and today I noticed starting a new pane is incredibly painfully slow. Um, so yeah, I was just thinking, like, is it because I have all of this, syntax highlighting, completion stuff? Is that why this is just terrible? And what Steven says is, okay, you can time how long it takes to start a new interactive uh, shell and then exit by using this command. He's running in at 0.67 seconds. Let's see what I got. 1.37 seconds, which is unacceptable. So yeah, if you run ZSH with this -f flag, it doesn't use any of the your startup RC files. And look at that speed compared to this speed. So what can we do? You can enable profiling, so you can load this module. So put this line at the top of your ZSH RC, and put this to the bottom, and it's going to profile everything that happens in between. So in my ZSH RC, it's not really that long. So I've added this line to the top and then this line to the bottom. But the thing that's going on with my ZSH RC is I source a few other files, and it gets a little bit complicated. So let's just see what happens here. Now if we create a new tmux pane, it spits out all of this information for us. And at the very top, we have found the culprit right here. NVM is number 1. This took over 1 second. And then conda comes in number 2. It's taking 23% of my startup time and 73%. So these two right here are major culprits. And so my solution to this thing is, well, I keep computer-specific settings in a ZSHRC extra file, and I have this line here which prepares your shell to use NVM, the node version manager. This is the exact same problem this guy had, by the way. 90% startup time is taken by NVM and some Kubernetes stuff. So yeah, let's first get rid of that, and we can look again. It's much faster. So we got rid of NVM, we saved over a second, and the next thing is this conda. And so my solution here is, if you don't have a conda RC file, there's a command you can enter. You can search whatever, right on Google. But if you enter that command, it'll create a conda RC file for you if you don't already have one. And we want to set this variable auto activate base to be false. So you can see when I create a new shell, it puts me in the base Anaconda environment. We don't want that. So yeah, let's set this to false. False. And try this again. So immediately way faster. Now conda's gone. So we just eliminated 300 milliseconds off our startup time. And even with all this ZSH profiling stuff going on, look how fast it is to open a new shell. So we still have conda. If you want to use it, you can say conda activate activate genres or whatever. And we still have conda if you want to use it. But yeah, the important thing was, I started thinking, I still need some way to manage node versions. So if you've ever done any programming, JavaScript programming, you know there's callback hell, but there's also dependency hell. So node version manager helps with the dependency issue. And I got to thinking, is it possible to just use conda to manage your different node versions? So if you search conda for Node.js, you can see, in fact, it is there. So we could, in theory, create a virtual environment with Node rather than Python. If you look at this version, though, it's a bit old. So like the current version of Node.js is 18, and the newest one that's listed here is 16. But we can get around this issue by using CondaForge, which is a community-led collection of recipes, build infrastructure, blah, 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 GitHub organization. You can, when you're issuing these conda install commands, you can tell it to use CondaForge, but you can also just add the channel to your conda RC. So if you run these two commands, it's going to modify your conda RC to tell it to look in CondaForge for different packages. It's going to use this as a repository. And now, if we search for Node.js, there's going to be a lot more options for us. And my internet is slow on this computer because I'm using a crappy USB Wi-Fi thing. So I may skip forward a little bit here. Come on, baby. And yeah, you can see here now there's a ton more versions of Node.js. 18.12 is the newest one. So let's create a new environment called test and install Node.js in there. And let's see. These new packages will be installed. Node.js version 18.12. Preparing transaction. Yes. Okay. So now we can, if we search for Node now, it's the node that's installed by my package manager. But if we activate our environment, which node is now in our virtual environment? So bin node version. So you can see we're using 18.12, the newest version. And let's say we now install a global node package. So we have, I already have TS node installed, but let's say we install another one. So it should now look for TS node. So yeah, this is kind of confusing. So I don't know why the first time it didn't know where it was. See, TS node version was 10.3, but here it's 10.9. So somehow my shell got confused. When I installed this new thing, it didn't know that it was in there. A bit confusing. I've never seen this issue with Python before. Yeah, no idea. So if someone could tell me, is this a bug? Is this a feature of Conda? Can you actually use Conda for programming languages other than Python? If so, right here we've taken care of this NPM issue. We take care of the Conda issue. Get two birds stoned at once. Yeah, so let me know.